Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Issues on Voice of the People TV. I am your host, Jerry Arpelioy. Today we're taking a deep dive into the biggest, most pressing issues affecting Nigeria right now. From political turmoil to major developments, we've got it all covered. And join me and our team of experts analysts as we uncover the truth behind the headlines and examine the real-world impact these issues have on you and your family. So grab a seat, stay tuned, and let's get into it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss a single episode of the issues. We begin with the Nigerian government, led by President Bola Tinubu, accused the former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi of politicizing recent deadly stampedes for personal gain. This reaction came in response to criticism of the Tinubu administration amid widespread economic hardship in the country. Away from that, where the Minister of State for Defense, Honorable Bello Mohammed Matawale, has asserted that there are no Lakurawa militants in the Northwest region. Speaking to reporters at his residence in Gusau on Sunday, the former governor of Zamfara State stated that military forces have successfully neutralized terrorist groups, dismantled their camps, and recovered arms and ammunition. And still more, where the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria Ipman announced a nationwide petrol price of 935 naira per litre effective Monday, following a price reduction by Dangote Refinery. This move is part of a new pricing strategy aimed at standardizing fuel prices across the country. And still more, where the Association of Resident Doctors, ARD, in the Federal Capital Territory has also
Season's greetings from the management and staff of Voice of the People Television.
Welcome back. Let's dive straight into today's discussion. We started off with the Nigerian government led by President Bola Tinubu accusing former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi of politicizing recent deadly stampedes for personal gain. This reaction came in response to criticism of the Tinubu administration amid widespread economic hardship in the country. The incident included the stampede at the Children's Fair in Ibadan, where about 40 children died, and others at a church in Abuja and in Anambra State, resulting in additional fatalities. Obi blamed these tragedies on government failures, highlighting the hunger crisis despite Nigerians' resources. In response, Sunday Diary, Tinubu's special advisor labeled Obi's remarks as indecent and accused him of exploiting misfortunes for political advantage. Diary emphasized that true leadership involves offering support during times of tragedy, noting that President Tinubu had suspended engagement to express condolences and other investigations while reaffirming the administration's commitment to addressing economic challenges in Nigeria. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by two esteemed guests here in the studio. We have Mr. Peter Anosike. Mr. Anosike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He is also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. Great to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
Compliments of the season.
Thank you.
All right, here is Dr. Joe Udiaja, a respected political affairs commentator all the way from the United States of America. Great to have you join us once again.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, I want to go with you, Dr. Joe. What do you make of Dr. Darius' accusations or allegations about Mr. Peter Obi wanting to take advantage of the situation to score political points?
I read the comments from Mr. Obi about the unfortunate situation, and I also read the response, if you will, from the administration. And here is the thing. On Politicians, fortunately and unfortunately, want to score some points from every situation. That is sad when it involves things like this. Unfortunately, it does happen, okay? Now, one thing that Nigerians need to understand is there's a limit to how far, to what extent you can go in a situation like this. Not see any impact on people wrong and all that, even during the so-called boom. People will run. It has nothing to do with the current administration, any administration. So for that, I disagree. What I do believe, though, is that Nigerians should learn, and quite good. They throw this stuff like they are throwing it to animals. You don't throw it, even in the zoo here, or in developed nation, they don't throw food like that, except in certain cases like when they are dealing with lions or animals that can attack them. They do it in a human way. So the issue is here, we do not treat our people with humanness. We throw this stuff at them, and then we sit back and enjoy watching them fight each other. You know, I told my people in Nigeria, do not go for any of those. I would rather you starve and manage what you have than to go there and apparently in some cases you get killed. So again, I will not stay here and say, well, Obi did this. The point is, there's no doubt whether you admit it or whether he admits it or not. He was trying to say good things, but the administration has right and opponents have right to say all you are doing is trying to score political points. Now, they can go on and on, but the issue that Nigerians have to deal with is how do you deliver these things to the people in a more humane way, whether you are doing it as a government official or as an individual. We should reject this idea of throwing things at people like as though they are animals, as though they are people that are like the way it was thrown during colonialism. We should stop it. We should look at human way of doing it, because you still get greetings. I still get greetings from my people, but I don't throw things at them. I still get, thank you. That's all you need if you really want it. So that's really the way I approach this.
Okay, let me go to Mr. Nosuke. Talking about the worries of Mr. Peter B, are they legitimate? Because take a look at the economic hardship in the country right now. A lot of people are going through a lot. But in time past, we've not seen Nigerians going through stampede because they want to get food. But it has become something that has become successive. I think it was one of
Excuse me. Asking if the worries of P2B, if it is legitimate, is a very, very wrong question.
Okay. What would have been the best?
It is a very, very wrong question.
Okay.
It is legitimate. And if there's any word more than legitimate, this is a government that is not doing well and is afraid of being criticized. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria that we are hearing this kind of story. That more than 70 people will die within 3 days because of free food. More than 70 people, 40 children in Ibadan, 27 widows in Anambra, 10 in Abuja, and many are still in the hospital that we don't know whether they are going to survive or not. Okay, imagine a scenario that P2B saw this and did not talk. What will Nigerians say? What will Nigerians say? Albert Einstein said that it is those that see evil and face to criticize this, they are the ones that are destroying this world. That's what Albert Einstein said. Understand? That it is those that see evil and fail to criticize it, they are the ones that are destroying this world. So what P2B did is the right thing, and whoever did not condemn what happened is worse than Lucifer, especially those so-called general overseers of churches who has become deaf and dumb, who have now become deaf and dumb. Talking of events organizers, if people are well fed in their houses, there's no way they will hear of where they are sharing free food, they will go there. So the one thing that drove them there is hunger and nothing more. And this is a failure, gross failure on the part of government. Because this is the first time in the history of Nigeria that we are hearing that people are being stampeded to death because of food. All the 16 years of PDP, we did not hear this. And mind you, what Obi Jackson did at Okija, he has been doing it over the years. Why was that not happening? Understand me? The guy that did that in Okija, he has been doing that thing over the years. Why has it not been happening? But because of the level of hunger in the country, more people have to turn out. Understand me? So it is the failure of government that is causing all this death. It is the failure of government that is causing all this death. That's the other day I gave an instance of what happened at Adamawa. I went to a restaurant in Yona. Okay, or they serve me food. Before I can turn and wash my hand, my food is gone. I saw a boy sitting there and eating it.
Stole the food?
Go to Yoda, go to northern district, understand me? Nigeria. I said, once immediately that they served the food, I just turned that to wash my hand. And Amajeri that was sitting, that was standing there, carried it. What would I do? I left that restaurant, go to a supermarket and buy biscuits. Because I know that if I should do anything, religious sentiment would come in. So I quietly left there. Why did he do that? It's hunger. Understand me? Why did he do that? It is hunger. So what P2B said is the right thing. And whoever is criticizing, Sunday, Daria is defending his job, his salary, his government. So what he said is not out of turn. But we know that P2B acted as a statesman. P2B acted as a concerned Nigerian. P2B acted as somebody who has empathy for his fellow Nigerians. So just imagine a situation that thing happened and P2B did not utter a word. The same APC would have been criticizing him. Understand me?
Yeah. Okay, let me go to Dr. Joe. Given the tragic loss in this incident, Dr. Joe, is it appropriate for the Tinubu administration to be on the defense mechanism, talking about using defense and mechanism approach instead of addressing the root causes of the growing instability such as poverty and mismanagement?
Well, I think that every administration will feel, if you say that the reason for this is happen is because of what the administration is doing or not doing, that administration has rights to come out and say, no, you are wrong. So under that premise, I would say that they have right to say, Obi or whoever, you are wrong. You see, such a thing every now and then happens in this country. It used to happen more often, especially in minority neighborhoods, when food will be sent there and people will be scrambling.
Well, we've not witnessed
Ask
this
them
kind of
how many
death.
people.
No,
Yes.
no, no, no. It doesn't really matter. Listen, look.
It matters because
One
this is
person
loss of
died.
life. We're talking about loss
One
of
person.
lives. About 30 people
One
dying in
person.
Ibadan. And
40
more,
people.
40 people, I
One
beg your pardon.
person.
And people died in Anambra and out in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory
Yes.
as well.
Which is all wrong. But the point I'm making is that one person died or dying is as bad as many dying, okay? If you look at it that way.
Okay.
If you actually will blame government, you know who I will blame? I will blame the local government in these areas. I will first blame the local government in these areas. I will first blame the state government in these areas. The federal government is not there to handle these things. Yes, there is hunger. And yes, hunger may have added to more people coming out. I don't doubt that. The point I'm making, though, is to say, oh, it is all because of hunger. That is not true, because it happens even during Jonathan administration you mentioned.
How many people died?
There are reports of things like that. Maybe it's not to that magnitude.
Are you talking about stampede for people scrambling for food?
Yes.
And people dying?
People did not die like that. Okay, I'm not saying that people die like that, but anytime you throw food to people, you're going to have stampede.
I think for the benefit of viewers who would love to know that day, but anyway, because to my record,
it never happened under the PDP government.
Okay.
The only thing that happened was when that's
was it the customs?
No, immigration.
Immigration, yeah.
Immigration.
When there was supposed to be talking about the recruitment.
Recruitment.
Yes, at the National Stadium. Okay.
See, a society that excuses theft, excuses killing, using reason that people are hungry, people have no job, that society is in trouble. You cannot excuse people. So the example you gave, that somebody stole your food in Adamawa, that is really not a good example, because that is stealing. It has little or nothing to do with that nation being hungry. Now, that person could have been hungry, but that doesn't mean that the person stealing it should be let go because, oh, he's hungry. No. So I think the mistake you people are making is you are badgering the government, and by doing that, you are neglecting individual responsibility. And that is the danger to the society more so than what the government is doing. You are not helping the people by providing them a excuse that, oh, I know you are hungry, that's why you did it this way. That is hurting the society. That is one of the reasons why there's so much killing and kidnapping, because we keep providing excuses to people. Oh, because we understand you are hungry. You are not helping them at all. So you are mixing apple and orange. There is hunger. And if you are saying the government should do more, I agree. But to say that is why the people who manage this thing did not do it well. The fact that that guy in Okija has been doing it, that's not an excuse. When you throw a dice, it doesn't always become 6, does it? You can throw dice 100 times and only get 6 once. Would you then say there is no 6? So I don't know why we're using these excuses. It wasn't handled well. It could have been handled better. Like I said, there are ways to do it minimize hurting people. And that's what we should be focusing on instead of blaming everything on, oh, if there were no hunger. No. If my child is hungry, he's not going to steal food because he's hungry. If he does, I will support him to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Okay. Um, Definitely, take a look at it. Whether you like it or not, definitely he has brought another angle to it, saying that definitely there's hunger, but there are people who are supposed to be responsible in the way how they carry out their activities. Now, what's the responsibility of the government? We hear that they're making plans to make sure that people control such situations, crowd control, and so on and so forth. Do you think they would be able to successfully control such events in future? Now, because December is still on, a lot of people are still going through hunger and economic
Can you
hardship.
control hunger?
That is the question.
Can you control? So I know that many people, just like a president general of a town union, told me that they have cancelled what they will have shared on the 26th of December because they don't want a problem. Understand? Because
Does that solve the problem?
because they don't want so this is a kind of
An excuse.
pragmatism. Understand me? Then the governor of Lagos State said, if you want to do anything that will attract more than 250 people, come and register it with us. So what this means is going to bring about more hunger because people who wanted that to give out things will no more do it. Understand me? People are now very, very cautious. Everybody is now, I don't want to, because the one in Ibadan, the former Oni's wife was arrested. She was arrested.
Okay.
Understand me? While trying to do good. Because her NGO have been doing that over the years. But the turnout has not been this much. Why? The level of hunger in the country. Understand me? So, what they should just ban, don't give anything to anybody anymore. Understand?
So is that not going to deprive the poor, the poorer of the poorest,
Will-
from even getting some kind of succor during
Because,
this period?
excuse me, with what happened this year, the man in Okija, Obi Jackson, will not want to do it again next year. Already, he has a lot of questions that to answer with the 27 people that died there that's in the school. Understand me? The same thing with the former wife of Oni and the church in Abuja. So what this means is that people will no longer be willing to be given out to the needy anymore. Because since before you do anything, you have to get. You see, so we are getting down and down every day by day. But this is what government can easily control by reducing import. Since terrorist bandits have taken over all the different farms, reduce the import duties so that people can bring in food at a cheaper rate. Understand me? Reduce price of fuel, so that prices of food will come down. Because when they hire vehicles at a higher rate, they'll put it that's in the price of the food that they will sell to the people. So government intervention can easily stop this.
All right, let's go back to the issues of insecurity, where the Minister of State for Defense, Honorable Bello Mohammed Matawale, has asserted that there are no Lakurawa militants in the northwest region. Speaking to reporters at his residence in Gusau on Sunday, the former governor of Zamfara State stated that military forces have successfully neutralized terrorist groups, dismantled their camps, and recovered arms and ammunition. He further explained that these criminals are not Nigerian citizens, but rather disgruntled individuals who have crossed over from Burkina Faso and Mali to inflict chaos. He said they've concluded operations against them in the northwest. Anyone discussing the existence of Lakurawa militants is merely attempting to tarnish the reputation of the federal government and its security agencies, he said. The minister criticized the dissemination of false information aimed at instilling fear in the public, particularly targeting journalists and social media users for accepting unverified claims. Matawale pointed out that misinformation is being spread by locals to undermine the current administration under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He emphasized that the security of citizens' lives and property is a top priority for Tinubu's administration, and they are dedicated to this policy. All right, let me go to Dr. Joe. The minister claims that there are no more Lakurawa militants in the Northwest and that the military has neutralized these terrorist groups. However, given the ongoing insecurity in the region, how credible do you think these claims are? And what does this say about the government's understanding of the actual situation on the ground?
Well, the way I look at this is when people are from outside or from within, the responsibility is there that you have to take care of the problem. The same thing is happening in the Southeast. People call them the unknown. Okay. They may be unknown, but if an unknown comes into my home, I have responsibility to defend my family against that unknown. If I come out and say, oh, because they are not from around here, therefore I have no responsibility, then I will be failing my family. So the minister can say, I don't have the data he has. Maybe he has enough reason to say that these people are from outside. If they are from outside and they're able to hurt people or do what they do, that means that the inside is not strong. That means that that may mean that somebody is inside is helping them. And so at the end of the day, you should be responsible, and that is the inside. So again, look at it from a simple way. It's hard for many people to understand there because it's like in a family. When many families have problems there, what do? They blame outsiders. And I always laugh and say, if you don't have any problem, outsiders will not know. And more importantly, if you do not let outsiders know about your problem, they will not come in. Therefore, the problem is within. I've had problem in marriage. I never blame outsiders. I blame it on what is going on within our house. So I do not buy all these excuses about these are unknown. And even in many cases, when the people caught are shown to be from the area, people will say, oh, they are not one of us. They are one of you. And you should deal with. The danger in this is very, very huge. During slavery, many people in Africa believe that people who were taking their children and their brothers and sisters and so on, were from outsider. That is not true. Outsiders were the shore waiting for you African, to bring your children to the shore for them. So who do you blame? You blame yourself first. And in Nigeria, read about slavery to see the region in Nigeria where slavery did the worst to people. Today, many things are still happening. So the point is, I do not agree with this minister or anybody who always jump into, well, these people are from outside. Well, close your door. Prevent them. Stop them. If you can't do it, then you're a failure. You cannot blame anybody. But I bet you there's somebody or some people within that opened that door. Those are people you should blame first and go after them. It is an excuse to blame outsiders. And I really don't think that helps any society when they do that.
All right, Mr. Nosike. He says
Yeah,
they are gone.
yeah.
Some are asking where did they go to?
Dr. Udaja was asking that he doesn't know the data that the minister has. The data that the minister has is propaganda and nothing more. Zamfara was carved out of the old Sokoto state. And today, as we speak, Bedo Turuji, is controlling 4 local governments in Sokoto state. Bedo Turuji is controlling 4 local governments in Sokoto state. So what is he trying that to say? Even from the beginning, he is the worst man to be appointed the Minister of State for Defense. Because as a governor of Zamfara State, he failed woefully with regard to security. After Boronu, the most traumatized with regard to security is his own state, Zamfara. And this is somebody who was appointed Minister of State for Defense. You cannot fight security in your own state. You were now being given 36, 35 other states. Understand me? Just like in the army, somebody who cannot control a platoon is being given a battalion, he will be overwhelmed. So that's the case of this man. Understand? So if he feels that they have defeated the terrorist, let him enter his own car without any ordinary, drive from Guzo to Abuja. Let him enter his own car and drive from Guzo to Abuja without any escort, without any ordinary. If he can do it, we now agree that they have neutralized or wipe out the bandits. So what he is doing is simply propaganda. And now pushing it on the media. He is in Abuja. People were in the rural area feeling it. Understand? Not he is hearing it. Some people are feeling it. Some people are running into the bush when these bandits storm their villages. So what he hears is stories, he doesn't feel it.
He said the Lakurawa militants have returned back to Mali, that they've chased them off. But he didn't say anything about bandits, the Boko Haram, Iswap, and so on. He only mentioned Lakurawa.
So the country that he mentioned are even doing far better than Nigeria. The economy of Burkina Faso is doing far better than Nigeria. The economy of Mali is doing far better than Nigeria. Understand me? So how can somebody leave Burkina Faso to come to Nigeria? Understand me? So it is them that should be chasing Nigeria now. Nigeria, go to your country. Burkina Faso is now the first debt-free nation in Africa. So their economy is far better than our own. Then why should they be angry? Why should they be frustrated? Mind you, when the Okoa Martin happened in Ugendi, Delta State, Babio said that they were not Nigerians.
They were missionaries.
That they were missionaries. So these people in power always want to push their problems to people from other countries.
There was even a time this Lakurawa was seen in the video recruiting villagers, and we saw a lot of crowd of people
Joining them.
making it look more lucrative to the villagers to join them. What would happen to that large population? Did they just vanish like
vanish,
a thief in the night?
vanish where? So which border did they follow that's out of the country?
Does that explain how porous our borders have always been?
As I say, the only data that he has is propaganda. The only data that he has is propaganda. The people that are still there, maybe they have not done one or two things in the last few days. It doesn't mean that they are no more there.
Or are they on holidays?
And this was what the national security advisor said some time ago that Nigeria can drive at night to any part of the country. That Nigeria can drive at night to any part of the country. That they have defeated the bandits.
Right, there's still reports of them in Sokoto State. Is
I
it that the governor is only interested in Zamfara State? And the
that-
minister, I beg your pardon, the minister is supposed to cover the entire country. Why is he only speaking about
He's the
Zamfara?
minister of state for the whole country. Understand? And Zamfara was carved out of Sokoto State
So why is he only interested in talking about Zamfara?
because he feels that if we mention Sokoto, some people would they understand me.
All right, before we go because of time, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria announced a nationwide petrol price of 935 naira per litre effective today, following a price reduction by Dangote Refinery. And this move is part of a new pricing strategy aimed at standardizing fuel prices across the country. Dangote Refinery has increased its ex-depot price by 7.27% from 970 naira to 899 naira 50 kobo per litre, and has established favorable credit terms for marketers to enhance distribution. Ipman's national president, Alhaji Mangadi Garima, commended this initiative as a significant step toward stabilizing fuel costs and ensuring availability, noting that the reduction will help alleviate transportation expenses, especially during the festive season. He highlighted the competitive nature of the market resulting from deregulation, predicting further price decreases as more private refineries come online. Okay, let me go to Dr. Joe. Taking a look at the recent prices, talking about the price of petrol being reduced. However, considering the volatile nature of the global oil prices, how sustainable do you think this reduction is? And what risk does it pose to Nigeria's long-term fuel pricing stability?
Well, I don't know, but I think we should celebrate any reduction, okay? Pessimism does not really help a society. There's always a saying, you take what you can get at a particular time while you work to get more. So I applaud the significant decrease and the promise of more increase. And I think we should work towards that. And then as we do that, we look at what are the things that need to be done to sustain this decrease. Because ideally, you want it to even go down more. And I hope that's what we should be looking at and saying, okay, what do we need to do? Yes, in this case, the government, the Dangote Group, and other oil marketers and so on should be working, hopefully, to say, okay, we want to sustain this decrease. We want to even go further. But we should celebrate it. We shouldn't be casting it like, oh, well, they're going to do it, and then what is going to happen? Once you develop a pessimistic life, sadly, your life seems to go that way. That simple thing psychology teaches. So, again, this is one of those cases that people will say, oh, well, they are doing it just for this or that. Just take it. Just celebrate it. And then by celebrating it, you actually indirectly motivate them to do more, knowing that they don't want to hurt you. You know, in this country, many believe Trump won election because of things were expensive and believe that he would decrease it. Well, that's not true. He already said he cannot do much. So the point I'm making is that often people believe these things without really knowing the facts, okay? There are things making it that oil continues to be high. Those are things that the government and people need to work on to bring things down. But the point here is that why they do that, why we put pressure on them to do that, we should celebrate any decrease with hope, because that motivates them to do more. It's like a child doing well at school. If you have pessimism, it affects the way he or she performs. But if you trust him and applaud him, he actually works harder to do better. There's no difference between that and how society functions. Now,
Okay.
I want to make one comment about these other countries that maybe that the minister is saying bring people, saying that, oh, the economy there is good, therefore bad people will not come there. That's not true. In fact, economy is really has little impact on criminality. Okay, yes, studies have shown that when the economy is that bad, there is some significant increase in criminality. But most of the time, it's not necessarily the criminality that hurts the society. So just the criminals are there. And whether the economy are bad or not, if they actually come in, they will come in if the opening is there. So we should focus on that. And also, why is the minister talking about that particular area, not about the country? Well, that's a good question. But so will a question somebody will ask you, why do you focus on what is going on in the north? How about what is going on in the south, in the southwest, in the southeast? Are there not terrorism going on there? We pick and choose. And then we turn around and blame somebody. Let's remove that speck from our eye before we remove it from others. Okay? So let's try to look at things as one Nigeria, not as it relates to that group or that group.
If it were not peculiar, I think the minister would not be referring to Lakurawa. I think he would more or less be interested in what's happening with the unknown gunmen in the southeast, or be talking about Stampede, because Lakurawa has become a menace in the north, and that is why he had to clear the air of what is actually happening. And of course, we have to reflect on that as referring to, of course, the man who's the keys to our security, talking about the Minister for State for Defense, for instance. Okay, we want to wrap up with you, Mr. Anosike, on this worthy issue. Is it time for Nigerians to celebrate, or we should still expect more?
That to start with, I'm not even seeing any decrease.
Yes, because even the fuel at the filling station is still the same old price.
It is still selling at the same old price.
Some even increase their prices.
It is still selling at the same old price. And they're saying that fuel was at 936 in every part of the country is practically not possible. There's no way fuel will sell the same thing in Lagos and in Sokoto, or the same thing in Lagos and Akwa Ibom, because it takes more transporting the fuel from here to the northern part of Nigeria and to the eastern part of Nigeria. So, and again, them saying that they want to stabilize at 936, which means you are still regulating, you are still fixing prices. It means that the forces of supply and demand is not what is determining how much the filling stations are selling, which means regulation is still going on, which is not what this government told us. Again, the fuel that they are selling now are mostly within, understand me, mostly within, not imported. So insurance has been removed, ship-to-ship transfer has been removed, landing cost has been removed. Understand me? Why is this sending above 700?
All right, of course, time not really our friend. We would have loved to answer that question if I was a part of the Dangote refinery or with the NNPCL. But definitely we need to ask questions, and that is why our political affairs analyst in the House will, of course, help us also ask those questions. I want to thank you, Mr. Anosuke, for being a part of the show this evening.
Thank you for having me.
A compliment of the season.
It's been a very marathon.
All right, Dr. Joe, compliments of the season. It's really a pleasure having your insight. Mr. Anosuke said he was expecting his hamper. I said behind the scene. I'll also ask you, maybe you have hampers for us as well. Maybe behind the scene. Maybe we can talk about that too.
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
No,
Can you repeat
he
it?
was asking for his hamper. I said it's behind the scene. We'll talk about it. I said maybe I will also ask you, maybe behind the scene too, where are the hampers for the Christmas and the New Year celebration?
Well, hopefully there will be. I'm expecting something too.
All right.
But in any case, I hope everybody enjoys the season. Like I said the other day, I know there is hunger. I know there is an issue of security. I am more concerned about security, actually, more than hunger. And many people may say, oh, well, it's not because I have money. No, it is because security is life. Hunger, I can go 2 days and I won't die, okay? As long as there's water. So I do hope that people have a peaceful holiday and that we work together to stop this killing, kidnapping going on. Because I know a number of people here in here that will not visit home because of that. And that does not help the country. It does not help them. It does not help anybody. Their children, just like my children, my younger children, I don't see how I can take them now and go for them to see where their parents come from. That is unfortunate. I could go alone. So let's work on those and let's be honest about who is involved and talk to them and use the law, believe in the law, okay? Because as bad as the law may be, it is what you have. No system is perfect. Every system has problem. What you do is you still obey the law and work to change what is wrong. So even if you don't have enough money, and many people don't, even in my family, stay together with your family, talk with them, enjoy their time with them.
All right.
And best of luck.
All right. Thank you very much. Of course, that's a wrap for today's episode of The Issues. I want to say compliments of the season. I am Jerry Amplify.